Okay, let's do a quick update. So I started putting cocoons into this bin in the middle of August, and the last cocoons went in at the beginning of December with a conservative estimate of 33,000 cocoons, which, if you take that as an average, that each cocoon may contain 1 to 6 wisps. Potentially there's at least 100,000 worms in there. That's a conservative estimate, so there could be slightly more. Very doubtful there's less than that, but there's at least 100,000 worms in this bin. So we'll have a quick look at that in a second. I'll just have a quick look at one of my breeder bins. Now, normally I run these on a 3-week cycle, but due to the lower temperatures and a little bit of inactivity by the worms, I've decided to run this as a double cycle. So these will get changed this weekend, so these will have been in here then for like 6 weeks. So I did it because there didn't seem to be as many cocoons in. Obviously, with the lower temperatures, the worms are not highly sexually active at the moment, but I have now got plenty of cocoons in there, which is what I want to go into the nursery grow out bin. Right, so that's 1 of 8 that I've got in there, and I'll put that back in the oven. So I've got those on a heat mat. So I'm running those at 17 degrees at the moment to just try and keep them warm, keep them active. At the minute, the soil temperature in there is 7.9 degrees, and the outside temperature, air temperature at the minute, is 4 degrees. So this is a good 4 degrees warmer, which is about 38 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nearly 40 degrees warmer in there than it is outside, which is obviously good news. Now, with the contents of this there, these black boxes, these shoe boxes that I use, these ones, the small ones, there was 48 of those that have gone into this bin. Well, let me just get the lid off. Let me just pause you there for a second and I'll just change the position. Okay, let's get the lid off. Let's have a look what's going on. So obviously it doubles up as a workbench as well, which comes in handy. Pull that back to there. Okay, so this is where the first batch went in, and then obviously I filled in all the way around there, and then this was the last batch that I've gone in. Obviously you can tell there's loads of cardboard left in this there, and then that side there, that's literally just castings. Let me take you around for a closer look. Okay, so look, so this section here is 4 months old. As you can see, there's still loads of wisps in there. Cocoons, still plenty of cocoons that have not hatched. As you can see, it is full of wisps. So we've come around this side. It's just still plenty of cocoons that have not hatched. They're still in good condition, good colour, plenty shape. I mean, there's some green ones in there. So if it's a green one, then it's a newer one. Obviously, the browner ones. Let's see that green one there. That's probably a fresher one. And then the brown ones, look, that one there, where you can actually still, if I could get in close, you could see the wisps inside the cocoon. So everything's healthy, and it is wall to wall wisps. So I literally just leave these alone, but as you can see, look, it's just worm city everywhere. Loads and loads of baby wisps. So I do nothing with these. I just basically change my breeders over every 3 weeks, sift out any castings that I can, so that I can use for the garden, and so that I put less into the storage bin. So this year now I should start filling these ones up. So this was the first batch from this year. But what I've done there is I've put about 50 adults in. And put about 50 adults in, just to keep it all aerated, so they're moving around and constantly turning that over. And then as soon as the wisps start hatching, I'll just take the adults out and I'll put those back into a breeder bin. But I'll just leave those in there now, and they'll hatch soon enough. Probably not till the spring, to be fair. But yeah, so that's the main bin. And then I'm going to start filling these up now, and then I can get one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and then another row on the bottom. So the plan is to have one of these tubs for each month of the year, so I can use my breeder bins to fill these up, and then when they have matured in about 12 months, 8 months time, whatever long it takes, I know I can which bin I can harvest. So by the time I get all the way to the end, this bin's going to be ready. It's going to be full of adults, and they can then I can do whatever I need to do with them then. Yeah, so I mean, I have added food into this bin, but I'm not adding food in this section at all, because I want the worms, the wisps, to work it down to that. So they've got to finish eating all this cardboard, which is it's pre-composted stuff. It's still full of goodness. So I want them to chew all that down and turn this all into castings. And then I've added some food this end. So I've got some, let me just show you. So that there is worm food. So that's basically just rotting down vegetables that's been into the blender. Just leave it to sit there. It does smell beautiful, let me tell you. So what I do then is I put a little bit, I scrape this back, put some in the bottom, and then the worms can eat that instantly because it's already rotted down. But this time I have put some fresh potato peelings in and different bits and bobs, sprouts. So as you can see, this is just full of worms up this end now. They've just literally followed the food, which is what I want them to do. I want them to migrate from there where there's no food left and follow it round and end up in this section where the food is. Obviously, after they've finished eating this, they're not going to leave this area because there's still food in there. So yeah, they're taking a while to grow, but obviously I'm in no rush, not going anywhere. Let's have a look. From a full head of broccoli, and look. Yeah, so they get drawn to it. I love it. Love it. Yes, when I first started putting raw food in, oh yeah, look. So the bigger ones do congregate. Yeah, look. Sexy worm ball. Oh. Yeah, it's a combination of foods, but when I first started feeding them raw veggies, I was getting some protein poisoning, and I was under the impression that it was the food that I was giving them, but it turns out I put some unrotted down horse manure in my first lot of boxes, thinking that the worms would love the horse manure. But because it hadn't pre-rotted, I think it was causing problems. So since I've stopped using horse manure in my mix and just using the vegetables and the coffee and the cardboard, I've had no problems with that. So yeah, that's how everything's going. Obviously I've still got that bin there that's also full of worms. These are the oldest ones. These are like 5 months old in there, but they're still not. They're juveniles, and some are of breeding age, but they're not big enough. I really want to use adult breeders. I really want the big worms. I believe I'm going to get more cocoons from an older worm than I would from these juveniles. So just want everybody sexually active, so over 18 pastime, so they've got a lot of work to do, so I want them to be adults and nice and strong. I'm asking a lot of them. But yeah, that's the worm bin. So onwards and upwards. Speak to you again soon, guys.